Hey folks, Machinery Pete here. I'm down at Husker Harvest Days, day one here in Grand Island, Nebraska. We got a good little Nebraska wind going, and I'm here at the C5 Manufacturing exhibit here with owner Corey Cress. Corey, thanks for having me out.
Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, I was really intrigued by your business, Corey. I know we had one of our Machinery Pete folks talk to your folks at another Kansas show, and we got kind of an up-close look at the Chisholm trail bed. Really an intriguing product. But no, let's back up a little bit. And okay, you're the owner, C5 Manufacturing, Kingman, Kansas. You bought the business a couple years ago?
Bought the business in February of 2017 from the original owners. Trying to maintain what they've established for us. We're really proud of our quality. We're proud of our craftsmanship. We offer the only bale bed in the country that dumps, and we offer the only bed in the country that also has independent arm action.
Yeah, the independent arm action, that was intriguing to me as I was looking at your offering. Has that been from day one?
That's been from day one. The original owner, Terry Schrog, decided he wanted to do something and make the bed more versatile. Our competitors' bale arms are all synchronized or squeezed. We have independent control of left and right arm, which just really increases the versatility of the bale bed. You can do just about anything you want to do with this bed. The only limitation is your creativity.
Okay. I just noticed over your shoulder, Corey, we got some people looking at those arms right now. That's good.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about Terry. It was Terry, right, the previous?
Yes, Terry Schrog is the previous original owner.
When did he start the company?
He started the company in 1999.
Okay.
Wanted to come up with a product that was unique and find some sort of a niche to get into the industry. And he thought of two really important things. He turned it into a possible dump truck, which has obvious benefits. You can dump anything off that you want to, any aggregate you want to dump off. All you got to do is load it.
Not just bales.
Not just bales. If you want to go get a load of rock or mulch, or you have an ice storm and you got a bunch of down tree limbs or whatever, you can dump off of there whatever you want to. And then the other thing he did is he wanted to have independent control of each side, each arm. So the left one is independently controlled of the right one. It allows us to, if you have your hay lined up in a row, you can spin a bale 90 degrees, pick it up and go, instead of having to pick it up, drop it, and hit it perpendicularly to go if you're going to unroll your hay. It really speeds things up. That's the number one compliment I get from customers at farm shows, is they just love that independent arm action.
Right, very cool. And Corey, again, you've been owner a couple of years now, but you knew the family going way back, is that correct?
Oh yeah, we've been farming neighbors and family with the Schrogs since oh lordy, 30 years ago. I've built combine trailers and grain trailers with Terry back in his farm shop. Really, he introduced me to the metal fabrication world. So he's one of those guys. All he needs is a piece of chalk and a concrete floor, and then back up and let him go to work.
Nice. Now, on the topic of combine trailers, it's a good story I think we need to share, Corey. You actually went to college at Kansas State, correct?
I went to K-State, yes, and that was my really introduction to working with Terry. I was living with his son Ashley at K-State, and I was custom harvesting during that time. I'd go to school in the spring semester, then do the full harvest run in summer and fall.
Wow.
And I needed a double combine trailer, which is a big, long semi-trailer that hauls two combines at once, and I couldn't find one that I could afford. I was just 22, 23 years old.
Sure.
So Ashley, my buddy roommate, said, hey, let the old man build it, which was Terry.
Yep.
And Terry was locally known for being the fabricating savant that he is, and that was my introduction to T back in spring of 1992. We built a double combine trailer. We started at spring break, and by the end of the school year, I was heading to Texas with two combines on a trailer.
And going to school.
And going to K-State, yeah.
Now, you actually got into education, is that right?
Yeah, before I did this, I taught school for 15 years, math teacher. So,
wow.
And yeah, it worked real well with the farm. I mean, raising wheat in south central Kansas, the scheduling works real well.
So you've been farming right
I've been farming since I was tall enough to climb on a tractor, yeah. Been operating the family farm for about 22, 23 years.
So now you're a manufacturer and dealing with farmers. How's the transition been?
Interesting. It's completely different from what my background is. I try to learn something every day. I by no means have it mastered, but we're getting better at it. We've always built a good bale bed. We're just trying to increase our efficiencies every day, and we're getting there. But it's just like anything else. it takes more time than you think it's going to. But we're making good headway.
Well, Corey, I love your website. Why don't you tell people what that address is? They should go and check it out.
It is www.c5Mfg.com, and the MFG is for manufacturing.
Okay. Well, you got great pictures out there, explanations of your product, good stuff. And let's pan around here, folks, at the exhibit. This is catching a lot of attention. We'll get up and get a better look at it. But Corey, this rig here, it's got C5 manufacturing on the door, and you can see here, FMTVtrucks.com. Tell us about this thing.
Well, I had a phone call about last November of 2017, and I had a gentleman call me from Belgrade, Montana. And his name was David Ronson, and he's the president of Acela Truck Company.
Acela Truck Company?
Acela. And if you guys want to Google, it's ACELA Truck, Belgrade, Montana.
Okay.
David went to the Pentagon and got an exclusive contract for these trucks. They were putting them out of service because they don't have armored cabs, and we need armored cabs now for the roadside bombs. So he wanted to be able to repurpose these trucks, and went there and got an exclusive contract to do that. And originally he had no intentions of getting into agriculture, but because he was in a ranching area in Montana, some local ranchers said, hey, throw a bale bed on one of those and we can use it. So he contacted the bale bed companies. Fortunately, they picked us at Chisholm Trail, and we're putting some bale beds on these trucks for some ranchers, and I just thought it would be a really, really good tool for areas besides Montana. So that's one of the main reasons I brought it here, is because Nebraska has the sand hills.
Right.
There's lots of huge ranches up here, and they can get big snows where they need to get in there and feed their cattle, and this machine will do it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that wouldn't do. That'll
It's a pretty tough truck.
Keep you going. But now, do you sell these trucks?
We are going to sell them. We're going to become a dealer for Acela, and it's because I just want to be able to offer these to our dealer network. I think there's going to be a good niche for them. Another idea I have is to put a bale bed on there that doesn't dump. I don't want to have the dump feature on it. I'm going to make a brush truck, fire truck for rural fire departments for them, because they're so maneuverable, and we've been having such a grass fire problems. I think it would be great as an attack truck. You know, it would be able to outperform some of the other trucks that are being used right now.
Yeah, I suppose right now it's just, like big F550s, 450s out there.
It's the big 1.25-ton trucks that all three of the dealers, manufacturers make, and this thing is just a big step above that. You can get them equipped so that they'll have a central tire inflation system on them, so when you pull off the highway, you can hit a button, it'll deflate the tires down to 20 psi, and you just can about go anywhere with that. And you can also haul in a lot more water and spray a lot more water at a time too.
So let's go back to the bale beds. Corey, you guys sell the Chisholm Trail bed.
We sell a Chisholm Trail bale bed, which is the arm beds, and you can get those in either a dumping or non-dumping version.
Okay.
We also sell a premium line of flatbeds that we've named South Fork flatbeds.
Okay.
That's on the truck behind me here that you can get some footage of. It's just a flatbed, but we can also make it dump or not. Our main targets there are construction companies, lawn and landscape companies, municipalities, things like that. Anybody that wants to turn a 3/4 ton or 1 ton pickup into a dump truck.
And your price point to me seemed pretty welcoming, I would say. On the Chisholm trail bed, what are we looking at there?
Price range installed on these Chisholm Trail bale beds, depending on if you dump or not. The dump feature is a couple $1,000s more.
Yep.
You should be into a good bale bed, non-dumping, for probably in the $8,000 to $9,000 range, and then add a couple $1,000s if you want it to dump.
Okay.
We're very competitively priced with our competitors. Dumping flatbed, we really don't have any competition. I think we're the only company in the United States that sells a flatbed that dumps from the factory. But we are very competitively priced there too.
The only company that makes a dumping flatbed.
From what I've been told, we are the only company in the United States that you can buy a flatbed that dumps. All the other flatbeds, if you want to turn them into a dump truck for this size of truck, you have to buy the flatbed, and then you have to go buy a hoist kit, and then you have to pay somebody to install that hoist kit, which does two things. It makes it very expensive, and it raises the flatbed up to where the appearance isn't very good. And ours is nice and low. Uses our same geometry that we use on our dumping bale bed.
Corey, let's go take a look at the dumping flatbed here. Pretty interesting. I noticed a lot of people stopping here at Husker Harvest Days taking a look. All right, Corey, give us a scoop.
Scoop, we got a subframe here that mounts just like our dumping bale bed does. Subframe is welded to cross members. We never weld to the trucks now. You always bolt to trucks, so we have bolting here. We have a safety stand because you always have to have, if you have to get under there for any reason, you need to be able to have a safety stand up there. We use all tubing. We don't use any channel iron. We use all tubing. We use an 1/8 inch thick tread plate for the floor. I'll put this quality of construction up against any bed you can buy anywhere. It sits down nice and low, and I can show you here in a second. We can set it down, and you can see how it sits nice and low so it doesn't sit too high like some other flat beds that have been made to dump. In fact, I can do that now. I don't have the tether in the cab yet because we just put this on last week.
Sure. Pretty slick, Corey.
Sits down nice and low. One other thing that this dumping feature adds, well, I got to go on this side over here.
Sure.
Comes with a gooseneck ball. You'll never have to crank on the landing legs on your trailer again if you have one of our dumping flatbeds or bale beds, because you use the dumping feature of the bed to pick it up. So you just pick it up, kick your wood blocks out, drop down and go. You won't ever have to crank on your landing legs again.
I see why you're getting the feedback you're getting.
Yes, it has helped. That was an unintended perk of having the dump feature, but it has helped.
Now, if we pan over, we got the Chisholm trail bed over here, and again, lots of folks coming in asking questions. That's one of your Ford dealers over there. That's,
Yes, our dealer that comes to this show at Husker Harvest is Ainsworth Motors in Ainsworth, Nebraska. Brett Youngkin is the owner of that. He's over showing the bed right now to some people, and he's been a good dealer for many, many years. We're proud to have him one of our dealers.
We've switched around here. You try to get out of the window a little bit, Corey. And how many dealers do you have selling your beds?
I imagine we've got close to 40, and we have
Really?
dealers from. We got one in Alaska, in Soldotna,
Really?
Alaska. Yeah, he
Okay.
came down to the Spokane, Washington show last February. He drove 2,600 miles just to get to Spokane, Washington. I've never been to Alaska, but it's a long ways away. All the way down, we have dealers in Georgia too, Virginia.
I understand you're getting some international interest in your products now.
We are. We've signed a deal with a company in London, and they're trying to import some beds over to Europe.
Wow. Well, when you have a great product that's kind of different and better, there's kind of no walls to where it can go, right?
I hope so. I mean, I've always been proud of the quality. Even before I bought the business, I've been around Deb and Terry since day one. I helped Terry weld up the first bale bed back in '99, and they've always built a very, very solid bed. There's other good beds out there too, but I'm very proud of ours. So yeah, if you get up and try to do what's right every day, I mean, usually you can sleep pretty good at night.
Right. Corey, I understand there's a kind of a cool story about that very first bale bed. You kind of knew where it was and were trying to buy it back, right?
Well, the very first bale bed that Terry sold to somebody, as of a couple years ago, was still in use.
Okay.
And in the years previous to that, it was an older gentleman about 30 miles north of Kingman, Kansas, where our plant is. Deb and Terry offered him for years a brand new bale bed, and they'd install it, put new toolboxes, the full enchilada, free of charge. They just wanted that unit number one back, and this gentleman never would do it.
You wouldn't bite on a new one?
He wouldn't do it because he said, "Oh, this old bed's working great," and they never could talk him into it.
Well, you know, a piece of equipment that does exactly what you need it to do, that's like an old friend.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, I've farmed my whole life. I've still got an old John Deere combine sitting in the shed that I haven't run for a couple of years, but I'm not going to get rid of it. Old 7700 John Deere combine. I grew up in one.
Well, Corey, I got to ask you, you're an American manufacturer. You're employing people in Kingman, Kansas. First of all, thank you for what you're doing.
You're welcome. I'm proud to be there.
Small town, rural America, providing great jobs and making great products. The manufacturing climate right now, I mean, a lot of things going on, challenges.
Yeah.
How-
With the current political situation,
uncertainty, I
yeah,
suppose?
uncertainty is a good way to put it because I
Yeah.
can't even explain it very well. I can tell you within days of when I signed the deal with London for Europe, I heard the word tariff come from Washington
Sure.
for the first time. So I can't tell you if it's having an effect, but I've had a little correspondence with some companies in Europe, and I know it's got them a little uneasy.
Sure.
And I understand that, but we'll just try to work through it.
Right. But again, it just goes back to that quality product, right?
I think so. I mean, if you sell something good, then you should be able to stand behind it. I mean, it's kind of like back when I used to teach school, and kids are having trouble telling the truth. I say, you know what? It's too much work to tell the truth because you got to remember what you said. So just do it right the first time. And I think building anything here is the same way. Just do it right the first time. That's what we try to do.
That's awesome. Well, Corey, before we go, let's spin it on. I want to get a wide shot of the truck here.
Okay.
Folks, if you're at the Husker Harvest Days, you got to come by and see C5Mfg. Talk to my guy Corey here. Great story. And there again, there's the truck with the American flag flying. Actually, 9/11 today. Actually, I heard some stories when 9/11 happened in 2001 at Husker Harvest Days. If any of you guys were at the show that day, send me a note. We need to do a little retrospective on that. But again, the truck turns a lot of heads, Corey.
Thank you. I can give you a quick story about 9/11 too.
Okay.
I was teaching school, and a 7th grade girl came to me after 9/11. That day she was upset. She said,
Yep.
Coach, I want to send some teddy bears to some kids that just lost their parents.
Oh, wow.
And I,
Yeah.
sorry.
Wow. That's awesome.
And I said, sweetie, if you collect them, I'll take them. And 3 weeks later, I was taking 3,500 teddy bears to New York City.
You drove teddy bears to New York City?
Yep, 3,500 of them. The first weekend in October. In fact, the night we got to New York City was the night we started bombing Afghanistan.
Sure.
So they had the whole city shut down. We were supposed to go to Ground Zero at the Red Cross right there at Ground Zero in Manhattan, but we couldn't, so we had to take them to a warehouse at JFK Airport.
Corey, that is awesome.
Now that you just mentioned 9/11, I just brought that story up.
And you're bringing that heart to your business, C5 Manufacturing. Thanks for what you're doing. And again, building a great product. And again, your website, Corey, if people want more information.
It is C5Mfg for manufacturing.com.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we've got to introduce you here to the owner of Ainsworth Motors in Ainsworth, Nebraska. This is Brett Yunkin. Did I pronounce your name right, Brett?
That's right, that's correct. Brett Yunkin from Ainsworth at Ainsworth
Okay.
Motors Inc.
How long have you owned the Ford dealership there in Ainsworth?
I've owned the Ford dealership there since '97. I've actually worked at the dealership since 1984, so
Okay.
I've been there a while.
Okay. And I understand you carry and sell the C5 Manufacturing
Yep.
beds.
We have a complete lineup of Ford vehicles, new and used, and then also we're a distributor for C5 Manufacturing. We sell the Chisholm Trail bed, Bill beds, located over my shoulder. And,
Okay.
and we've been with C5 since they were Cannonball. They were formerly Cannonball
Right.
Engineering. And when I was looking around for something to fit in with my pickups, I was intrigued by the Bale dump feature that,
Yep.
that the C5 had, and so we started selling them. It's been a great fit for our customers and our area up there in Ainsworth.
And for folks who aren't from Nebraska, you're on the edge of the sandhills out there?
Ainsworth, actually, we used to always have a celebration called Middle of Nowhere Day, so we're out there a ways. But we're about 45 miles west of Valentine,
Sure.
or about 250 miles north of Kearney, Nebraska.
Okay,
So
north
we're
of
close
Kearney.
to the South Dakota border.
Okay, so you maybe know my auctioneer friends there in Kearney. Marshall,
Oh yeah, I know the name very
Miles,
well.
and Rob,
Yep.
great guys.
We actually have a world champion auctioneer in Ainsworth. Mike Baxter was a world champion
very
auctioneer.
cool. Well, what do your customers, what do they say about the Bale bed when you get them going with that, set them up with that, Brett?
Well, when we first looked at the Bale beds, we wanted something that would be reliable and something that wouldn't cause more hassle and more breakdown than they would be worthwhile. I really like the C5 Chisholm Trail Bale beds because they are electric over hydraulic, so all of your electricity and all the parts that could go wrong is located right inside the Bale bed itself. So if anything does go wrong there, it doesn't disable your pickup. You're able to get it back in out of the field or out of the hills to someplace to get it fixed. So the reliability and the dump feature was the thing that intrigued me the most when we started selling these Bale beds.
Very cool. And return customers, you must have some, I would imagine.
We have a lot of return. We don't have that many return customers because once you sell one to somebody, it never wears out.
Right.
Most of the Bale beds we've sold are either still owned by the customer, or if they trade it back in, they'll trade the Bale bed on it with the pickup
Sure.
into another new bed just like it. So Very, very reliable unit, very trouble-free, and they last forever. Everything that's on them is replaceable, so all you have to do is keep upgrading and upfitting what you've broken, and you'll be good to go.
And if folks need to buy themselves a Ford pickup out around Ainsworth, what is your website, Brett?
We have a lineup there. Our website's ainsworthmotors.com, and we're also on Facebook at ainsworthmotors.com. Yeah, you can go on there and look at our inventory and give us a call. We like the personal part of selling vehicles. You know, we want to know what you need, what you're going to be using the vehicles for. If you're buying a pickup, we want to make sure you're getting the right gear ratio, the right engine to go with that. So.
Very cool. Well, thanks, Brett, for telling us about your relationship with C5. And now one last thing. I understand you just bought a piece of machinery off machinerypete.com?
I did. I actually was looking. I purchased a new tractor through my local dealer up there, and I was looking for a mower to go with it. And on Machinery Pete, they had one listed that wasn't too far away from where I had to pick the tractor up, so I made the deal, and Machinery Pete expedited me getting my mower.
And what town did you say that was again,
It was
Brett?
in Harmony, Minnesota, and then the tractor was over by Minneapolis. So
Very cool.
My local dealer found it for me. I went and picked it up and bought it from him.
Well, thank you for shopping on our website. We appreciate it, Brett.
Thank you for being there. I appreciate having that venue to go to.
You bet. Well, Corey, I understand also one further new product we need to tell people about, your dirt scraper.
Yeah, we bought a dirt scraper, an existing dirt scraper business in January of 2015 called Brown Dirt Scrapers.
Okay.
And just incorporate them into the business. We build anywhere from, I think, 200 to 350 of these a year. And they range from little bitty small ones behind your compact tractors up to big 16-foot feedlot machines you need 300 horsepower for. So we also have these. They're on our website, C5Mfg.com.
And the brand
is Patriot Dirt Scraper.
Patriot. I love that little scraper for that the little lawn.
Yeah, I mean, this is one thing that people, until they know what this can do, don't buy a box blade that fits to your 3-point hitch, because this will level your driveway and all your leveling 100 times better than that will.
So again, C5Mfg.com. Look for dirt scrapers.
Yes,
you can find it there.
there's a tab there that says Patriot Dirt Scraper.
Okay. You need to give me some video of that thing in action too.
I will.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Corey.